So it's a second World Cup opposition in the same number of weeks, but this time England managed to put Japan to the sword. And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. So England 52, Japan 13. Big win for England, lots of tries, plenty to talk about. And the useful thing was I got to see this game live. There were lots of other games on this weekend and I will get to them eventually. It's just this sucked up most of the day, plus obviously the Women's World Cup in the morning. I will get to the other games. I know there's other teams apart from England, but this is what I was doing today. So first of all, seeing the players live is really useful. You can see the whole pitch, you can see them physically, athletically, and it's really useful to judge them against each other. Plus I had the Amazon video feed up on the laptop as well, so I could see the replay, so got the best of both worlds. So it's really interesting and I can take probably quite a lot away from this game, a bit more than normal. So first of all, there was a late change. Big Joe Cokanasiga started in place of Noel. He had a really good game against Argentina. This game they didn't really use him as a runner that much. He essentially chased balls all day, did okay, didn't quite have the same impact. And Japan, well, they were quite inexperienced. In the press conference, you'll see their coach was, saying that this isn't the same side that England have faced before. They didn't, quite get it going. They were a little bit overawed maybe by the pressure England brought, but they still did get lots of their fast phases going. They definitely stretched the English defence, but the English defence was fairly impressive. They organised quickly. Tackling was pretty good, so they did manage to snuff out the Japan when they did get it going, and they really did manage to rattle them at times as well. Now, a few times in this game I was a little bit frustrated when England had some really good ball. They went for crossfield kicks very quickly before they'd even tested out the Japanese. That was the same early on, but they did get another penalty, so they go up 3-0. And Japan are clearly trying to play side to side. Goodness me, they go left and right all the time, stretching England. But England were full of energy. They definitely looked very energetic in defence, covering all the gaps. So it was good stuff. And 10 minutes in, I make a note, it's a much better game than the Argentinian game, which wasn't hard. And when Japan come to town, it's always going to be fun. Good conditions, so it was a good one to watch. Low errors actually, even though Japan weren't making many breaks early on. Lots of good phases, putting England through their paces, but the line speed of England as well was impressive, up in their face as well as the drift and covering the holes. Genge carrying really well, good scrummaging, same as last week. So Genge and Sinclair I thought had really good games. That's 2 in a row, so they're positives for sure. Then we get the first try from Freddie Stewart, who had a really good game. Japan kicked the ball to England's best players quite a lot. Freddie Stewart, Sam Simmonds got a lot of ball to run back. They really needed to stop doing that. But Freddie Stewart, really good try. Farrell and Smith in your face. It's good handling. But it has to be said, I think it's Matsushima makes a bad defensive error, comes up far too quickly, lets Stewart just drift on him, and then he doesn't have time to react. It's the old adage in rugby, push up quick and then you've got to slow down a bit to be able to react, and he couldn't. But it's a nice try, 10-0, good start. England full of energy, full of confidence, and they're pressing Japan and they're getting some results, definitely. And Japan really struggled in that scrum. The tight head Gu is getting in a lot of gooey time actually at scrum time, giving away penalties with the ref. A great line from Simmonds, but a bad pass, fumbles a definite try out wide on 14 minutes. It's not all England's way though. Big Joe drops a couple of easy balls, which is something he is prone to sometimes, so he was a bit mixed. Porter stripped in contact. I'm not convinced by Porter. I know he scored 2 tries. One was a walk-in, one was, a chase and touchdown, but he doesn't look like he's world-class in any area. I like the guy. He's a really good, solid professional. When I interviewed Martin Gleeson, they said he's very coachable, quite quiet, but I'm not seeing that he's the best 13 in England by any way, to be honest, but he scored a couple. Then on 20 minutes, a thumping drive in the scrum from England really got Japan shooting back there. They're in big trouble, although I did make a note. I don't know if that's going to continue when Mako and Hayes came on later, but I'll talk about the subs later. A couple of things about Smith. Did some really good stuff, but he did do some very dicey stuff as well. Passes over the top, intercepts, chips to nowhere. So he had a mixed bag. Good stuff, some dodgy stuff that might have been punished against other teams. But anyway, he makes up for it with a try. Good line bust from Stewart again, running really well. Big Joe is in support, makes ground and stays cool to pop off the floor to a hitch-kicking Smith who managed to squeeze in the right corner. That was nice, 70-0. Conversion by Farrell was a good one. He kicked fantastically again today. His kicking is absolutely on point at the moment. Now, even though England are on top, I still don't see the point of having Farrell and Smith on at the same time. Farrell, I thought played really well. I thought he could have played as well as a 10 could play playing 12. But he doesn't offer any running threat, so you're sucking up 2 positions. That's the issue. Played really well, out of position. Him playing 10 or Smith playing 10, fine. Probably Farrell on that performance, but they just need an extra speed man. You need someone special at 13, which they don't have. Johnny May is Johnny May, but slower. Very simple. Watching him live, definitely a lot slower than he is before. Played solid, but he's not the guy he was before, and the whole point of playing Johnny May is for his speed. He doesn't have it, so what's the point? Anyway, in 26 minutes, England's tenacity on the kick chase, they're really rattling Japan now, boshing them around a bit physically, really chasing those kicks as well, getting in their face. Japan really need to settle themselves. They nearly get Leach in down the left, but Kokonasiga tackles well, takes him into touch. Kokonasiga made a few good tackles, stayed fairly wide actually. England were very narrow against Argentina, kept a lot more width in defence against Japan. Half an hour in, we get a good chance for Japan finally. Seized on an England line-out error. There were a few overthrows, a few messy line-outs, but they don't do slow phases. They go 100 miles an hour, get in great position, get a penalty, and England will be delighted they decided to take 3 points. They do this a couple of times. They really should have gone for the tries against England at home. I thought that was a bit of an error of judgment from the captain there. Anyway, another note, watching Itoje live at 6. What's good about watching it live is you can see the stuff that's not on the TV, and he was really struggling with the pace of the game. Has he played too much rugby? Is it the fact he's playing flanker? He moved to lock later on and looked a lot better, but definitely not a flanker for absolute certain. He was walking towards the end of that first half, completely out of position, not in the defensive line, not in the attack. Pretty bad, to be honest, so he looked knackered. Now, England are getting lots of good ball, but their lack of running options around Smith and Farrell mean they do have to chip the ball away quite a lot, which is a real shame. One of those is charged down because Farrell's got nothing else to do. They lose a good 80 metres. May's on the chase, but he's really struggling, so much slower than he used to be. Give away a penalty. Japan could have gone for a scrum, a line out, but they take the points again. Again, a bit of an error. May does get a yellow card though. Anyway, towards the end of the first half, England looking sharp in certain areas. Simmons looking great. Genji's looking great. Some of the big boys definitely hanging on for half time because it is a fast game for sure. Anyway, in 39 minutes, Itoje is getting embarrassing now, walking around the pitch, but Farrell and Genge, to be fair, still full of energy. Farrell was all over the place with his tackles, really up for it. Great chase and turnover from Farrell. Gives Van Poortvliet a chance to whip a really long pass left to Simmons. Good stop and go. Gets on the outside, offloads to Porter for a walk-in. Great way to finish the half, 24-6, and again, top conversion from Farrell. Into the second half, I do want to see a bit more speed from England off the bench, but they don't have it. It would be great to see someone like Willis come on, for example, but he's not even in the team. We did warm up with him. I don't know if he's injured or not, but anyway, their bench is starting to worry me a little bit, but they're winning by quite a lot anyway. Couple of minutes into the second half, nice pace from Jack Van Poortvliet, offers so much more attacking threat than Youngs. When Youngs came on, it was a different kettle of fish, looked so much slower. Just a simple switch, but Van Poortvliet gets on the outside. Has to grab the ball away again because not that many options outside him, but good from Van Poortvliet. But they do get a penalty just after that, 5 metre maul, and then it's 2 great lines from the props. This is a nice try. Sinclair hitting one of his classic Sinclair lines. Big run up, punches hard through the gain line. Genge decides to do exactly the same, carbon copy, bashes over the line. Really good try. 31-6. So yeah, they've been fantastic. Simmons and Genge. Light and day between Simmons and Biddy Volapola. Have a look at the interview I did with Sam Simmons after the game. Gives you an insight. I said I thought it was easily the best game he had for England. He agreed, and he was really fresh. Have a look at that interview. That'll be coming up soon. I thought Dave Ribbons actually really impressed in the second row. Looked a lot better than Coles did. And when he played second row and when he came on, impressed with him. He seemed very at home at that level. 50 minutes. England starting to cut loose. They know they've got the game now. Basketball passes from Hill and Ribbons. Farrell nice grubber in behind. Porter just about has the pace to win the race. 38-6. Great conversion from Farrell, of course. Team shape so much better. the confidence is there. They know they've got Japan now. They definitely need more pace, but the team shape is better. Now on 55 minutes, Mako's on for Genge. That only means one thing. We concede a scrum penalty, but England leave the ball in for ages. They're going nowhere. Don't know why they just don't play. That was a bit annoying. 60 minutes, Japan, their ball movement has been non-stop to be fair, but England are keeping their shape. But then a little unfortunate as Coles rips the ball away. It does break to Japan. Sato scores their try, 38-11. Then quite a good decision, I think, from Eddie Jones, to be fair. He leaves Sam Simmonds on because he's looking so sharp. So they bring Billy on. They need to keep some pace in the team, so they move Simmonds to 6. Again, he talks about that in the interview. So I think that was a good call. On 65 minutes, more good work from Farrell. Like I said, he had a great game for a 10 playing 12. Individual Japanese footwork is impressive. Wrong foot some England players, but Farrell covers the grubber. He was all energy today. Then Eddie Jones's finishers come on and goodness me, the crowd groans. There's no excitement because they know the people coming on are slower and less impactful than those going off. That was interesting. I mean, we had like Mako, Billy, Youngs, Joe Hayes, Coles come on. None of them had any impact on the game. Terrible bench, to be honest. Let me know if you disagree. But to be fair, for the last 5-10 minutes, Japan have really thrown the kitchen sink at England, but England have stood firm, so fair play to them. Good defence, good discipline. Game looks to be over. Japan hook Itoje's arm on 69 minutes, so it's a maul. Japan stop the maul illegally. Penalty try, 45-13. Then on 73 minutes, nice try to finish on. Started by Smith, who spots Stewart in Akers, crossfield kick. Couple of chips later, Smith gathers the bouncing ball to score, 52-13. Making another note, Itoje looking much more home in the second row. England finishing quite nicely. Lovely pump, fake and offload from Farrell, who had a really good game. Slade breaks clear. Actually, Slade makes a couple of fumbles later in this game where they could have had more. But anyway, finishes on and up, 52-13. Much better team performance from England in attack and defence, good shape. But watching live, it's clear to see who the top players are and who is average. This team could definitely get a lot better. If you add the likes of Dombrandt in there, Willis, maybe Ted Hill in the forwards, Murley, Lawrence, or maybe Arundel when he's fit in the backs, England maybe could do something. But anyway, definitely some positives. Definitely some areas to improve as well, personnel-wise. Let me know what you thought of that game, and I'll catch you next time.